Life is filled with worries, pressures, and constant chasing after money, fame, and success. Yet, despite achieving so much, many still feel unfulfilled. According to Buddhism, the root of suffering is attachment. The more we cling to things, whether material wealth, relationships, or even our own expectations, the more we suffer. True peace comes when we learn to let go. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful Buddhist principles that will help you practice letting go and find deeper happiness in daily life. These timeless teachings can transform how you deal with stress, free yourself from unnecessary burdens, and cultivate inner peace. You'll discover how to release attachments that cause suffering, shift your mindset for greater peace and clarity, apply Buddhist wisdom to everyday challenges, find happiness in the present moment. If you're ready to break free from stress and embrace a simpler, more peaceful life, watch until the end. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Buddhist wisdom. Let us know in the comments which principle resonates with you the most. Recognizing attachments in life. Life is full of attachments, whether to material possessions, success, relationships, or even negative thoughts. We hold on tightly, believing that these things define our happiness and identity. Yet, Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root cause of suffering. Only when we recognize what binds us can we begin to let go and find true peace. The illusion of material possessions. Many of us believe that owning more, a bigger house, a nicer car, or the latest gadgets, will bring happiness. Society conditions us to equate wealth with success. However, Buddhist wisdom reminds us that material things are impermanent. No matter how much we acquire, the craving never ends. Imagine buying a new phone. At first, it brings excitement, but over time, it becomes just another object. Soon, a newer model appears and dissatisfaction creeps in. This endless cycle of desire and disappointment traps us in suffering. The Buddha taught, attachment to things leads to suffering. Let go and you will find peace. This doesn't mean we should abandon all possessions. Instead, we should cultivate a mindful relationship with them, appreciating what we have without being controlled by the fear of losing them. The trap of status and success. Modern life glorifies status, achievements, and recognition. We chase promotions, social validation, and personal achievements, hoping they will bring fulfillment. Yet, even the most successful individuals often feel an inner emptiness. Why? Because external success does not guarantee inner peace. The more we attach our worth to our careers or reputation, the more we fear failure. When setbacks occur, we suffer deeply. The Buddha taught that true success lies in self-awareness, wisdom, and inner contentment, not external validation. Instead of seeking approval, we can focus on meaningful growth, cultivating gratitude for what we already have, practicing mindfulness to stay present in our journey, letting go of ego and embracing humility. By shifting our perspective, we break free from the illusion that success equals happiness. Emotional attachments, relationships, and expectations. Attachment in relationships is one of the most challenging areas to recognize. We form deep emotional bonds with family, friends, and partners, which is natural. However, suffering arises when we become overly dependent on others for our happiness. We expect people to always support us. We want relationships to remain unchanged. We fear losing those we love. Yet, Buddhism teaches us the truth of impermanence. Everything in life is in constant motion. When we hold on too tightly, we create suffering for ourselves and others. Instead of clinging, we can practice loving without attachment by accepting change as part of life, loving with openness rather than control, finding inner fulfillment rather than relying on others for happiness. When we love without grasping, relationships become healthier, freer, and more compassionate. The weight of negative thoughts. One of the most subtle yet powerful attachments is our tendency to hold on to negative emotions and past wounds. Many of us dwell on regrets, grudges, or fears, reliving painful experiences in our minds. This mental attachment can be just as binding as physical possessions. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Each negative thought adds weight, making life harder. Yet, if we learn to release resentment and self-judgment, we lighten our emotional burden. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Letting go of negativity doesn't mean ignoring emotions but observing them without being consumed. Through mindfulness and self-reflection, we can recognize our inner struggles and choose to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. How to identify your attachments? To truly free ourselves, we must first recognize what binds us. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Do I rely on external things for happiness? Am I clinging to past regrets or worries about the future? Do I define my self-worth based on success or relationships? By honestly reflecting, we bring awareness to our attachments. Once we see them clearly, we can begin the process of letting go and finding true inner peace. Final thoughts. A path to freedom. Recognizing attachment is the first step toward liberation. When we understand that material things, achievements, relationships, and even emotions are impermanent, we stop clinging. Instead of seeking security in the external world, we turn inward to cultivate mindfulness, acceptance, and inner fulfillment. True happiness is not about having more, it's about holding on to less. Let go and peace will follow. What attachments do you recognize in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on Buddhist wisdom and inner peace. Practicing impermanence. Embracing change. Life is in constant motion. Everything around us changes: people, circumstances, emotions, relationships, and even our own thoughts. Yet, many of us resist change, holding on to what feels familiar and secure. We fear loss, struggle against uncertainty, and suffer when life doesn't go as planned. Buddhism teaches that impermanence, anicca, is one of the fundamental truths of existence. Nothing stays the same, and when we fully understand this, we become more peaceful, less fearful, and more accepting of life's natural flow. Let's explore how embracing impermanence can free us from suffering and bring inner peace and wisdom. Everything is temporary. The nature of impermanence. From the moment we are born, change is the only constant. Our bodies age, relationships evolve, and situations shift. Seasons come and go. A blooming flower eventually withers. Even the mountains, which seem eternal, slowly erode over time. The Buddha compared life to a river, always flowing, never the same from moment to moment. Yet, as humans, we struggle with this reality. We want things to remain stable, predictable, and permanent. We cling to happiness, fearing it will end. We resist sadness, wishing it would disappear. But whether we accept it or not, everything is impermanent. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you grasp it too tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, you can appreciate it without losing it. This is the essence of practicing impermanence, not clinging but flowing with life. Why do we suffer from change? The pain of loss and change often comes from our deep attachment to things as they are. We become attached to people, material possessions, our youth, and even our own identities. When something changes, we feel unsettled, anxious, or heartbroken. We grieve when a loved one passes away. We feel lost when a relationship ends. We resist aging, trying to hold on to youth. We get frustrated when plans don't go as expected. These emotions are natural, but our suffering intensifies when we refuse to accept impermanence. We try to control what is uncontrollable, but the truth is, everything is always shifting. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, our desire to make things last forever. However, when we learn to accept impermanence, we stop fighting against the natural order of life and find peace in change. Lessons from nature. Accepting change with grace. Nature provides beautiful examples of impermanence and acceptance. Consider a falling leaf. It does not resist the wind, nor does it cling to the tree in fear. It simply lets go, becoming part of the earth's cycle. The sun rises and sets, reminding us that no moment lasts forever. Rivers constantly move, showing us that life is always flowing. A butterfly starts as a caterpillar, teaching us that transformation is natural. By observing nature, we learn that change is not something to fear. It is a necessary and beautiful part of existence. How to practice impermanence in daily life. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean we should become indifferent or emotionless. It means learning to experience life fully while letting go of resistance. Here are some ways to practice this wisdom. 1. Let go of attachments. Recognize the things you cling to. whether it's a relationship, a job, a personal identity, or even an emotion. Ask yourself, am I resisting change out of fear? What am I afraid of losing? How can I appreciate what I have without grasping? By acknowledging these attachments, you begin the process of releasing fear and embracing freedom. 2. Accept the present moment. Since everything changes, the only moment we truly have is now. Instead of worrying about the past or fearing the future, practice mindfulness by fully immersing yourself in the present. Enjoy a meal without distractions. Listen deeply when someone speaks to you. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. When you are fully present, you naturally accept life as it is, without needing it to be different. 3. See challenges as part of life's flow. Difficult moments are inevitable. Instead of resisting them, try to see them as part of the bigger picture. Every hardship brings growth. Every loss creates space for something new. When faced with difficulties, remind yourself, this too shall pass. No storm lasts forever. By accepting impermanence, you develop resilience and inner strength. 4. Appreciate what you have before it's gone. Since nothing lasts forever, cherish what you have right now. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. Enjoy simple moments instead of taking them for granted. Appreciate your body, your mind, and your experiences. Gratitude helps us embrace change because it teaches us to value each moment without fear of losing it. 5. Meditate on impermanence. One powerful Buddhist practice is contemplating impermanence. Take a few minutes each day to reflect. What changed in my life today? What am I holding on to that I need to release? How can I move with change rather than against it? Meditation on impermanence helps train the mind to accept reality as it is, without resistance or fear. Finding freedom in letting go. When we embrace impermanence, we stop fighting against life. Instead of fearing change, we learn to move with it. Instead of clinging, we appreciate. Instead of suffering, we find peace. The Buddha taught that freedom comes when we let go, not because we stop caring, but because we stop resisting the natural flow of life. Like the leaf that falls effortlessly from the tree, we too can learn to release our fears, accept change, and trust in the wisdom of impermanence. Learning to forgive, letting go of resentment. Holding on to resentment is like gripping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone. The only person who gets burned is you. Yet many of us carry anger, hurt, and grudges for years, allowing them to weigh us down. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from suffering. The Buddha said, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. By learning to forgive, we release pain, find inner peace, and move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Let's explore the power of forgiveness, why it's essential for our well-being, and how we can practice it in our daily lives. Why do we hold on to resentment? When someone hurts us, whether through betrayal, harsh words, or unfair treatment, it's natural to feel pain. But instead of letting the pain pass, we often replay the event in our minds, fueling our anger. We hold on to resentment because we feel that forgiving means approving of what happened. We believe letting go makes us weak. We think the other person should suffer for their mistakes. We are attached to our pain because it gives us a sense of identity. But the truth is, holding on to anger doesn't punish the other person. It only hurts us. We carry the burden of resentment while they may have already moved on. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or pretending the pain never happened. It's about choosing peace over suffering. The Buddhist perspective on forgiveness. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, including pain and resentment. When we understand this, we realize that clinging to anger is like trapping ourselves in a prison of our own making. Karma and understanding. Instead of seeing others as enemies, we recognize that everyone acts based on their own ignorance, pain, or past karma. Compassion over judgment. People who hurt others are often suffering themselves. Instead of hatred, we can cultivate compassion and understanding. Letting go frees us. When we release resentment, we make room for peace, clarity, and happiness. The Buddha often used the analogy of a traveler carrying a heavy bag of stones. The more we hold on to, the heavier our journey becomes. By forgiving, we drop the unnecessary weight and walk freely. The benefits of forgiveness. Forgiving is one of the most powerful ways to Cultivate inner peace and emotional well-being. 1. It reduces stress and anxiety. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness have lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Holding on to grudges keeps the nervous system in a constant state of fight or flight, which harms our mental and physical health. 2. It improves relationships. When we let go of past grievances, we strengthen our connections with others. Whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, forgiveness allows us to move forward without bitterness or negativity. 3. It brings inner peace. Resentment is like carrying a heavy chain around your heart. The moment you forgive, you feel lighter, calmer, and more at ease. 4. It breaks the cycle of suffering. If we respond to harm with more anger, we continue a cycle of pain, revenge, and negativity. But when we choose forgiveness, we break that cycle and create space for healing and understanding. How to practice forgiveness in daily life. Forgiveness is not always easy, especially when wounds run deep. However, with practice and patience, we can learn to release resentment and find peace. 1. Recognize the pain but don't let it control you. Acknowledge the hurt, but don't let it define you. Instead of replaying painful memories, focus on how you can heal and move forward. Ask yourself, is my anger helping me or hurting me? What do I gain by holding on to resentment? What would happen if I chose to let go? 2. Shift your perspective. Instead of seeing the person who hurt you as an enemy, try to see them as a flawed human being just like you. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has struggles. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you release hatred. 3. Practice loving kindness meditation. Metta meditation, a powerful Buddhist practice for cultivating forgiveness, is metta, loving kindness, meditation. This involves sending positive thoughts and well wishes to yourself, loved ones, and even those who have hurt you. Try saying, may I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May person's name find peace. May they grow in wisdom. At first, it may feel difficult to wish well for someone who has hurt you, but with practice, it becomes a path to true freedom. 4. Write a letter. Even if you never send it, writing down your feelings helps you process emotions and let go of negativity. You don't have to send the letter, just writing it can be therapeutic. Start with, I forgive you for. I release the anger I've held on to because. I choose peace over resentment. 5. Forgive yourself. Often we are hardest on ourselves. We regret past mistakes, replay failures, and carry guilt for years. But the Buddha taught that self-forgiveness is essential for spiritual growth. If you struggle with forgiving yourself, remind yourself, I am human and humans make mistakes. I choose to learn from the past instead of punishing myself. I deserve peace and self-compassion. True freedom comes from letting go. Forgiveness is not just about others. It's about freeing yourself from suffering. When you forgive, you release the burden of anger. Open your heart to peace and happiness. Break free from the cycle of resentment. Imagine a bird trapped in a cage. The moment it is released, it flies freely into the sky. That is the power of forgiveness. It allows you to rise above pain and experience true liberation. The Buddhist teachings remind us, we cannot change the past, but we can choose how we carry it forward. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. What is one thing you need to forgive today? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on inner peace and spiritual growth. Living in the present. No regrets about the past, no worries about the future. Many people are trapped in painful memories or consumed by fear of the future. We regret past mistakes, reliving them over and over, wishing we had done things differently. Or we constantly worry about what's ahead, our careers, relationships, health, or financial security. But when we live this way, we miss out on the only moment that truly exists, the present. The Buddha taught that true peace is found here and now. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but this moment is real. When we learn to embrace the present, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and experience deep inner peace. Let's explore why living in the present is so important and how we can practice it in our daily lives. The problem: we are always elsewhere. The mind has a habit of wandering. It constantly jumps between the past and the future, rarely resting in the present moment. Living in the past, we replay painful events, regrets, and mistakes. We ask, What if things had been different? Or, why did that happen to me? Living in the future, we worry about what might happen next. We ask, what if I fail? Or, what if things don't go as planned? When we are stuck in either place, we suffer. We create stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. The Buddha compared the human mind to a restless monkey, always jumping from branch to branch, never still. The key to peace is training the mind to stay in the present. The Buddhist perspective on living in the present. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from attachment and resistance. When we attach ourselves to the past or resist the uncertainty of the future, we create unnecessary pain. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." When we focus on now, we break free from suffering. The present moment is where life truly happens. Why living in the present brings peace. 1. The past cannot be changed. No matter how much we think about the past, we cannot rewrite it. Dwelling on past mistakes or painful experiences only drains our energy. The Buddha compared this to carrying a heavy bag of stones. The more we hold on to it, the heavier it becomes. Forgiving ourselves and others, and accepting what has already happened, allows us to move forward with peace. 2. The future is uncertain. No matter how much we plan, we cannot control everything that happens in the future. Worrying about what might happen only steals our peace and happiness today. When we accept that life is uncertain, we stop fearing it. Instead, we meet the future with wisdom and calmness. 3. The present is where happiness exists. Think about a time when you were truly happy, maybe watching a sunset, listening to music, or laughing with a friend. In that moment, were you worrying about the past or future? Probably not. Happiness happens when we are fully engaged in the present. When we stop overthinking, we experience life as it is, not as we fear or wish it to be. How to practice living in the present. Training the mind to stay in the present takes practice, but there are simple ways to cultivate mindfulness and awareness. 1. Practice mindful breathing. Your breath is always in the present. It never exists in the past or future. When your mind wanders, return to your breath. Try this. Take a slow, deep breath in. Notice the feeling of air entering your lungs. Slowly breathe out, releasing tension. Focus on each inhale and exhale. Even a few deep breaths can bring you back to the present moment. 2. Meditate daily. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to train the mind to stay present. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a difference. A simple meditation technique: sit comfortably and close your eyes. Focus on your breath or a mantra, such as, "I am here now." If your mind wanders, gently bring it back without judgment. Continue for a few minutes, feeling the calmness and clarity that arises. 3. Use your senses to anchor yourself. One way to return to the present is to engage your senses. Sight, observe the colors, shapes, and textures around you. Sound, listen to the sounds of birds, wind, or people talking. Touch, feel the warmth of sunlight on your skin or the texture of your clothes. Smell, notice the scent of food, flowers, or fresh air. Taste, savor your meals mindfully without distractions. By paying attention to what is happening right now, you pull your mind back to the present. 4. Let go of the need for control. Most of our worries come from trying to control things we cannot change. Instead of resisting life, learn to flow with it. Ask yourself, am I worrying about something I cannot control? Can I accept uncertainty instead of fearing it? What happens if I just trust life as it unfolds? The more we accept life as it is, the more peaceful we become. 5. Appreciate small moments. Happiness is found in ordinary moments. The warmth of a cup of tea, the feeling of fresh air, the sound of laughter. Each day, take time to appreciate a kind conversation, a beautiful sunrise, the comfort of silence. By noticing small joys, you become more grateful, present, and content. True peace is found in the present. When we let go of regrets about the past and stop fearing the future, we open ourselves to the beauty of the present. The Buddhist teachings remind us, the past is a memory. Learn from it but don't live in it. The future is unknown. Plan wisely but don't fear it. The present is all you truly have. Live it fully. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and awareness, we can experience life as it is with clarity, peace, and joy. So take a deep breath, let go of distractions and ask yourself, what is happening in this moment? Because right now is where life truly exists. Daily practice of letting go, finding freedom through detachment in modern life. We are constantly told to chase success, accumulate wealth, and hold on to relationships. We cling to expectations, material possessions, and even our own identity, believing that these things will bring us security and happiness. But according to Buddhist wisdom, true peace comes not from holding on but from letting go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means living with awareness, balance, and inner freedom. It means engaging fully in life without attachment to outcomes, without excessive ownership, and with a deep understanding of impermanence. Let's explore 3 essential ways to practice letting go in daily life. 1. Let go of attachment to results. We all have goals and dreams. We work hard, hoping for success, recognition, or financial rewards. However, when we become too attached to the outcome, we create stress, anxiety, and disappointment. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we are overly fixated on results, we feel frustrated when things don't go as planned, worry excessively about failure, lose the joy of the present moment because we are only focused on the future. Instead, Buddhism teaches us to focus on right effort, doing our best while remaining detached from the outcome. A story from Buddhist wisdom. There was once a wise monk who spent years planting and caring for a beautiful garden. One day, a strong storm destroyed all his work. When his students saw this, they expected him to be heartbroken. Instead, the monk calmly said, "I did not grow the garden to possess it. I grew it to enjoy the process of gardening." This is true detachment, putting in effort with sincerity but not being consumed by results. How to practice this in daily life? Work hard, but accept whatever happens with peace. Set goals but remain flexible. Measure success by effort, not just outcome. When we let go of attachment to results, we experience freedom, resilience, and a deeper sense of contentment. 2. Let go of excessive possessions. Live simply. In today's world, many believe that the more we own, the happier we will be. But in reality, the more we possess, the heavier our burdens become. The Buddha lived a simple life, teaching that happiness comes not from accumulating but from appreciating. When we hold on to too many things, whether physical objects or even relationships, we can feel trapped. The burden of possessions. Think about how much time we spend buying things we don't really need, maintaining and organizing our belongings, worrying about losing what we have. When we simplify our lives, we make space for peace. A cluttered home often reflects a cluttered mind, while a minimalist lifestyle brings clarity and lightness. How to practice letting go of excess. Declutter regularly. Keep only what adds value to your life. Practice mindful consumption. Buy less and appreciate more. Shift focus from owning to experiencing. Living simply allows us to free ourselves from unnecessary stress and connect more deeply with life. 3. Reflect on death. Understand impermanence. Most people avoid thinking about death, but in Buddhism, reflecting on death is a powerful practice. Instead of seeing it as a depressing thought, it is a way to appreciate life more fully. The Buddha taught that everything is impermanent: our bodies, relationships, wealth, and even emotions. By accepting this truth, we learn to focus on what truly matters. Let go of petty conflicts and attachments. Live with greater purpose and gratitude. A lesson from the Buddha. One day, a woman named Kisa Gautami came to the Buddha in deep sorrow after losing her child. She begged the Buddha for a way to bring her son back to life. The Buddha told her to find a mustard seed from a household that had never experienced death. She searched the entire village but found that every home had lost someone. She realized that death is a natural part of life and let go of her grief. This story teaches us that when we accept death, we stop fearing it and start living fully. How to reflect on death in a positive way. Acknowledge impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, and that's okay. Appreciate the present moment. Treat each day as a gift. Let go of grudges and unnecessary worries. They will not matter in the end. By embracing impermanence, we free ourselves from fear and become more compassionate, peaceful, and mindful. The beauty of letting go is not about losing or giving up. It is about finding freedom from unnecessary burdens. When we detach from results, we find peace in our efforts. Reduce excessive possessions, we create space for joy. Reflect on death, we learn to live fully. The Buddhist teachings remind us that happiness is not found in holding on, but in releasing. So ask yourself, today, what expectations can I let go of? What possessions do I no longer need? How can I live with more presence and purpose? The practice of letting go leads to a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a truly joyful life. Are you ready to embrace the freedom of letting go? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on mindfulness and Buddhist teachings. Conclusion. Embrace letting go for a lighter, happier life. Letting go does not mean giving up everything. It means living with a free and unburdened heart. It is about releasing attachment to outcomes, material possessions, and fears so that we can experience true peace and happiness. By practicing letting go, you will find that life becomes lighter, more joyful, and more fulfilling. When you detach from results, you free yourself from stress and disappointment. Simplify your possessions, you create space for clarity and contentment. Accept impermanence, you stop fearing change and start living with gratitude. This is not a one-time practice. It is a lifelong journey. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start small. Let go of a single expectation, declutter one space, or spend a few moments reflecting on what truly matters. The more you practice, the more you will feel freedom, inner peace, and a deep sense of happiness. Now it's time to take action. How will you start letting go today? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom on mindfulness, inner peace, and Buddhist teachings. Let's walk this path together toward a life of true freedom and serenity.